As a human being, do you like completely breaking down people mentally? If you're a decent person, I would think your answer is a no. But if you're a magician, would you like to break people down mentally? Oh, 100%. You want them to bow down to your power. I mean, sorry, what I mean to say is you just want to blow people's minds. Obviously, that's what I meant to say. What did you think? I was talking about world domination? Nah, no way, no way. Unless... What up, crew? It is Magic Monday, and this is your place to learn magic, master your performance, and captivate audiences. For those of you who are joining me for the first time, hey there, my name is Vineet, and I go by CardMechanic here on YouTube. The card trick that I'm about to share with you kind of plays more into a mentalism type effect, because it really relies on your performance versus the skills that you have with a deck of playing cards. That being said, you'll still definitely need to know one move in particular to accomplish this effect. So before we get started, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe, and now, let's mentally break people down. Alright guys, so check this out. I want you to watch closely. And by the way, for those of you who are curious, these are the spectacle playing cards. Toss them on over to the side. I'm going to start off by giving the deck a quick little shuffle. Just something like this, maybe a little bit more of an overhand thing going on. And then just one final cut, and we should be good. So here's what's going to happen. I want the spectator to go ahead and select any 6 cards they'd like from the deck. Let's just say 1, 2, 3, 4. And 5, and let's go down here for card number 6. So these 6 cards were chosen at random. They can be shuffled now by a spectator as much as they'd like, and the spectator can select any one card from these 6 cards. Let's say that card right over there. Now I want you to take a look and memorize this card because I will not be memorizing it for you. Hopefully you got that memorized. You can take it, put it back in the packet, and shuffle it up as much as you'd like. So at this point, it's completely fair. I have zero clue on what card you selected, what 6 cards you selected, and how anything was shuffled. The only person who knows what this card is you, and that's in your mind mentally. I'm going to try to read your mind. I'm going to take a look at these 6 cards and try to figure out from the brain signals that you send me which one of these is your card. So do me a favor, think of your card very, very clearly. Just think of the suit. Okay, I think I'm getting a good feeling about this one. I'll take that card and leave it right over there. Now, really quick, I'm going to leave these face down. Just to recap, you selected any 6 cards from this deck of playing cards. From those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards, you selected and shuffled up the whole packet and selected 1 card. Right, so I'm going to take your 1 card, leave it somewhere in the center of the deck, just for safekeeping. And for the first time, I want you to name your card. The 9 of spades. Well, check this out. None of these cards are the 9 of spades. That means the card I selected and put near the center of the deck was your selected card, the 9 of spades. Alright my people, welcome to the tutorial. To give you a little bit of background on this effect, it is known as mental breakdown by the same guy who made these playing cards, Mr. Jay Sankey. What's great about this trick is that it's completely impromptu. It can be done with a borrowed deck of playing cards and mainly relies on your ability to perform to an audience. So that being said, let's go ahead and break it down. First things first, when you take the deck right out of the case, you want to hand it over to the spectator and let them shuffle it up. This way it would give you better reactions at the end since they have more interaction with the trick. Once that's complete, you want to take the deck back and have the spectator select out any 6 cards that they'd like. You want to make sure that you do not see which 6 cards they're selecting. So I'd recommend just having them tap the back of 6 different cards as you pull them out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Doesn't matter what cards they select. Once they have these 6 cards selected, you want to hand this packet over to the spectator. Again, emphasize the fact that you do not want them to see it just yet because you don't want any let's say mental or physical cues from them regarding what cards there are. So they give the deck a shuffle as much as they'd like. Then they can select one single playing card from these 6 cards. Let's just say this card right here, and it happens to be the 2 of clubs. They take the 2 of clubs, leave it back anywhere they'd like in the center of the deck, and they can shuffle up the deck again. By deck, I mean the small packet of playing cards. So they can shuffle that back up again and leave it on the table. Once they're all done, they can let you know. And I feel like for most of this process, it can be done pretty much with your eyes closed. Like, you don't have to really do much, just instruct them on what to do. And if you feel like they're a person who follows instructions, then this would work perfectly. You can do it with your, behind your back, with your eyes closed, whatever you want to do. So once that's done, I kind of come back to the beginning and say, okay, and give them a quick recap. So the recap is they selected any 6 cards that they wanted. From those 6 cards, they shuffled them up and then selected any single card that they wanted. And then they have one card memorized in their head. No one else really knows what the card is. At this point, I put these 6 cards on top of the deck and turn them all face towards me, right? I want to make sure the spectator cannot see what these playing cards are, all face towards me. And I try to read the spectator's mind by looking at these 6 playing cards. Now, obviously, you have no idea which one of these 6 cards is theirs, but this is where your performance ability really comes into play. You want to paint a picture for the spectator that you're able to read minds. So you want to kind of have a little bit of back and forth saying, think of this, think of that, you know, whatever you want to do. And as you do more performances, you'll see what works better for you. So then once all that's done, you say, okay, I think I got it. Select any one of these 6 cards at random. Let's just say this one and put it face down on the table. And as this is done, you can push it towards the spectator and say, okay, so you selected, and I turned these 5 cards, right? I turned the rest of these 5 cards face down on top of the deck. Now, again, my goal is to give a quick recap. And while I'm giving this recap, I have a little bit of misdirection. I'm using my expressions, my story, or the recap to kind of give a misdirection while I do a secret move right over here. And you may have seen it in my performance. It's very difficult to do when you have like the camera just grilling down on your hand. But what you're gonna do is perform a turnover pass. And the whole goal here is to get these 5 cards in the center of the deck without making it seem like you're giving the deck a cut or moving anything about with the deck. So the way the turnover pass works is you're gonna pick up about half the deck, turn this bottom half over, turn the top half over, and put the cards down like so, okay? And so up to speed, let me pull that up here. Up to speed, I turn these 5 cards over, and I say, you could have picked any 6 cards from the deck, and as I'm doing that, I do my turnover pass, you could have picked any 6 cards from this entire deck, and that's the reasoning of why I'm even turning this packet over in the first place. You could pick any 6 cards from the deck, turn it back around, but you happen to pick these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. Now, keep in mind, these 5 cards are random. None of these are the original, from the original 6. So again, you're just switching them all out. So when you do the show at the end, none of these will be their playing cards anyway. So honestly, none of the cards here is a spectator selected card, which is what makes this even cooler is that you're not even using their card. You're just doing all this out of nowhere, and yet you're still going to get a great impact at the end. And from here you say that the spectator selected one of those 6 cards, and I'm going to put it in the center of the deck for safekeeping. And the reason you're putting it in the center of the deck is because when you did the turnover pass, their card gets moved to the center. Oh, and quick note, I know I didn't do a full tutorial for the turnover pass here, but I do have a video for it on my channel. I'll put the link on the screen and or description. You can go ahead and check it out. Once a card has been pushed in, you can leave the deck over to the side and ask the spectator what their selected card was. They're gonna say, what was the card? They're gonna say that the selected card was a 2 of clubs. You can go through each one of these cards saying that the 2 of clubs is no longer here, but in fact it's in the center where you place it for safekeeping. You go towards the center, and there it is, the 2 of clubs. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, this trick is more focused on your performance versus the skills you have with a deck of playing cards. So not only will it get you great reactions if you perform it well, but it'll improve your skill set every single time you perform. That's a win-win right there. Now, if you enjoyed this effect and want to check out another mentalism type card trick, make sure to click on that video right there. I think you'll like it. With that, you can continue to give people mental breakdowns. Thanks so much for spending your time with me today. As always, it's a pleasure having you here. Hope you have a great day ahead, and hopefully I'll see you in that video.